Ta-da! You guys are studs. How do you get your rope in the tree? The most famously asked question since I started doing YouTube. And here is Damien. He's already up there. How did he do that? Well, this is a removal. It's all tangled up in these other trees, and we're trying to preserve those little trees. Anyway, Damien did what we commonly do on removals, and you spur up the tree and you set your rigging exactly how you want it, and you get your climb line exactly how you want it. So besides climbing up there with spurs, Joe is going to tag team this tree with Damien, and he's going to go up this fir tree and he's going to set his line, because we don't want to spur the fir tree, we're not cutting it down. So he's going to set his line with what we call the big shot. Go ahead, Joe. It's a slingshot. And he missed, but it's over a little stub. But the slingshot is another way you get your line in a tree. I think a lot of people nowadays, modern times, they learn SRT climbing, and so they're kind of they don't get real comfortable on spurs or flip lines, and they just kind of they gotta feel like they're held up in that fancy little swing, you know. They gotta feel like they're held up by something, and so they really want to know how to get their rope in the tree first, so that they can be all held nice and cuddly tight the whole way from the ground up. And that it has advantages, but most of the time you climb up the tree by using the tree as your climbing wall, and by staying tied in but not necessarily held up, whether you're wearing spurs or not. A lot of times, in order to get your rigging lines, like when we're speed lining, or to get your climbing line where you want, perfectly where you want, you climb there. You don't necessarily get this perfect shot and then go straight up the rope somewhere. You can on some trees, and we'll do it today. We're going to use the Raptor later. Joe is probably going to climb his line using a rope walking method, and he'll have to reshoot this in order to get the best shot on this tree. But yeah, so we'll show a couple different methods of getting the rope in the tree, but I just gotta say the first most common method, and the one that is the most sure for having your rigging lines perfectly set where you want them and your climbing lines perfectly set how you want them, is to physically go to the spot and set them up by climbing the tree as if you were a rock climber or a monkey or something. Staying tied in. Do I make myself clear? I'm not sure. Is that understood, Damien, you think? Yeah. Damien says climbing in order to set your rigging and your climb line is the best way to dial it in. That's probably bad news for a lot of people who think there's some magic thing that we do that puts our rope perfectly how you want it. You shoot your rope up there somewhere way out of sight with an air cannon, we'll show you that later, or the big shot, here he goes again. Then a lot of times you can't exactly see what. Oh, this is a big shot with a trigger release. That looks pretty good. Yeah, we can work with that. So what I was saying, you get your rope up there remotely, you don't necessarily have a guarantee of exactly what it's over, and so you end up, hanging on the thing a few times going, is it good? Is it good? Do I trust it? You're not so much worried about it breaking and falling to the ground, but you're worried about dropping 2 or 3 feet or a foot if some little thing that it's over breaks off up there because you can't really see it. So remote setting ropes is a talent and a thing that you learn by practice. And some people are more tight on what they'll allow. You know, they might not even go up the rope unless they can see how it's what it's over and how secure it is. Where others, you know, like us, we kind of shoot up in there amongst everything, and we make a judgment call based on, you know, well, that's over a lot of stuff. If that doesn't hold me, the next thing will, and then we hang on it with 2 or 3 guys before we go up, thinking, you know, if it holds 2 or 3 guys here, then it probably won't drop just little old me as I'm going up. You never like the feeling of like dropping 2 or 3 feet or a foot or 6 inches, especially when you're a new climber. When you're a bundle of nerves, and then your rope slips and drops you a foot, and you're just, your whole life flashes before your eyes, and you're thinking about how you just want to go home now. But anyway, with experience, you get to the point where you drop 6 inches or a foot or something, and it just angers you, you know. So yeah, climb the tree. Learn how to climb the tree from the ground up, with or without spurs, both, because you'll need to do both of those things if you're going to be a good tree guy. Learn how to do that. Don't rely on remote setting. But we're going to show you some remote setting, and this is a long speech, and we have work to do, so I'm going to stop now. Talk to you later. Bye. Adam, good job putting it where it should be and not where it could have been. So now Joe is pulling the throw line, which is a small gauge slippery stuff, which is tied to his climbing line. And he's going to use that smaller line to pull the climb line up and over those limbs and back down to himself, and then he'll have his rope remotely set. Just want to point out that this video is for the beginner, the people who are always asking, how do you get your rope in the tree? This is not us trying to be some kind of know-it-all expert to teach the world, the whole world of veteran tree climbers anything. This is just standard stuff that is meant for the beginner. Okay. So Joe is setting the base tie for his line, because he's gonna go SRT up this, right? He's gonna be up the fir tree, but he's gonna be in perfect placement for this big oak limb. That's, the whole tree's coming out. Anyway, Joe's got something to tell you.
Oh, on these fir trees where the limbs are pretty small, you want to be right against the trunk. And to help ensure that, when I base tie, I take my base tie and I go all the way around the tree against the bite. I pull it tight, and then if it does slide down the tree or you break a small limb, it's always going to be trying to cinch around the trunk. Yep. It's not going to be trying to work its way out a limb.
Yeah, so what he's saying is he's not just going up empty air space and over a limb or something.
And, yeah, and back down.
Yeah. So from the front, Joe's like, this is a side note, but the Monkey Beaver belt, the way it's supposed to be most comfortable, how you get away from how a lot of the belts pinch your nuts off, is you wear the leg pads low, like this, and then you use these here to secure them in place. They're just like little, they're not life support, but wearing the leg pads low is the ticket for not getting castrated. And that's a novel idea. A lot of belts just go ahead and castrate you.
Okay, just to check your tie-in point, I just throw my landing around the tree. You can use a Prusik and a carabiner. This is my climb line. I'm using a hand ascender and a little pulley baner here.
So it has a mechanical advantage.
I'm just putting a 2-to-1 on my climb line.
Yeah.
I'm testing it with my weight. And we get 2 people's weight on it.
Two
times
people
2.
times
So I got
2.
4 people's weight on it.
Right, because of the
held.
mechanical advantage.
So now I can go up.
So now we know that Joe's buck 50 will easily be held.
Yeah.
He's doing the inchworm. Echo 2511T there. Maybe if you're newer at the game and you have less experience, you might be better off getting good with a throw line, throwing in by hand. You can kind of see how well how secure your rope is, how good your throw was. Does that make sense? Just to be safe, if you start shooting way up there, it's harder to tell what you've got, and so you might want to start out with whatever you can throw to. So it sounds kind of vague, but people say, how do you get in the tree? So in this oak tree, let's say you were going to climb this oak tree without spurs. Throw your rope as high as you can, like that first. What is that, 25 feet maybe? That first crotch. Everybody should be able to throw a line into there. If you're a DRT climber, you'd throw your line over that branch union, back down to yourself. Then you hip thrust up to that point, reposition, and then throw into the next one. If you're an SRT climber, then you would throw over that spot, base tie the other end right here, and then right up the rope. Once you get there, then you could throw in again to another place that you could easily tell was secure. That said, even at the beginner level, you should be able to throw by hand up there to 40 feet. And then you get a base tie, and you get kind of 40 feet of free travel without having to deal with the contour of the tree so much when it comes to SRT. DRT, you'd throw your rope over that 40-foot branch union up there, and then you would hump your way up 40 feet. And yeah, so this is going to sound really redundant to a lot of people, but maybe this is the right kind of info for somebody out there just starting out. So again, how do we get our ropes in the tree? Here's another one. I was on the phone and I was going to show this, but I wasn't able. Joe was too fast, but he got the big shot out here, and it's a giant slingshot with a quick release, and the quick release is adjustable down the shaft of the pole, so that, how do you call it? Power?
Yeah, power settings.
Power settings. So the farther you move that quick release down the pole, then the farther you're holding the slingshot back when you let it go. We used to always just let them go by hand, but this quick release, it's like you're shooting a gun. So Joe set these up. GoPro won't even show very well how good that is, but that's a 90-foot shot. So the slingshot, that's made by Notch. So Cheryl Tree, Notch slingshot. There's Big Shot. I think they're the original, and then Stein, I think, makes one. And anyway, with that thing, he easily shot that 90 foot up. Then he ran a running bowline up. And our purpose here is to cut down this little fir tree. We could have just ran up the fir tree and cut it down. But hey, we're gonna have a tie-in that's up high next to it.
We're also going into the oak.
Yeah.
To do some trimming, so.
Plus, we're doing deadwood on the oak afterwards. So that's why this is a classic time to put your tie in before you go up, because you can. We got the cool tool, the ability to use it. And so I would have loved to have shown you shoot that in there, but I missed it. And we're not going to undo it just for the YouTube. So it's a good shot. It's not like we're going to pull it out of there. We got to do it for the TV. And I have done stuff like that before, but not today. Not today. So we're going to take out this tree, little fir tree. It's all beat up by old wounds and sun and who knows what. That little fir tree comes out, and then we're doing some dead wood removal on this big oak. But I guess this will be part one. How do you get your rope in the tree? Maybe the comment section could be helpful. Somebody could ask a question that I haven't thought of. Basically, how you get your rope in the tree is you shoot it in with a slingshot or an air cannon, or you throw it in, or you take it with you. Hey, Joe. That's 150 pounds of pressure. Went up there looking good, but it bounced and went over a dead limb, which, you know, not so good. That's exactly 150, and I'll lose a little. Now we'll put the shot pouch in it and shoot it up there, and that'll be the air cannon demonstration. This was from Tree Stuff, the APTA, air-powered tree access. Got this a long time ago from them, and I've used it a lot. It's actually something you could probably make yourself, but it's not a gimmick. This thing will go way farther than a slingshot. Not that I need to right here, I'm just using it to show another way to get access.
Hey, Adam. Yeah. Did you undo my basil tie?
So that was a righteous shot right there. We're gonna take that. Joe's doing the pretty legit traverse straight across past Damien. If you look close, you can see Damien. So this part's all dead wooded. That's a quick 90 feet. So this is old school DRT, but getting through the tree now, you just climb the tree a little at a time. Clip in, and you just throw a little higher each time. Split tail climbing in a lot of ways was really smooth for this because I did it with a snap, not a carabiner. I always had a snap on the end of my climb line, so I could throw that thing, and I got really good at it. Now I use these ropes that have just an eye, so you can't use a snap, you gotta use carabiner, and it's light, you can't throw it as good, but the trade-offs are still in my favor with the smoothness of this thing. Anyway, this is a classic tree better done with SRT, but
Everybody in the tree is on the rope right now.
yeah, but both these guys are DRT right now too. That's funny. Yeah, you gotta use both. Anyway, YouTube, it's been nice talking to you. See you later. Maybe I'll take you horseshoe playing later. Play a game of horseshoes when we're done. That's done. One of the advantages of not having a split tail system right there. This tree is dead. This tree is totally dead. So that means I'm the partner of whoever wins. All right, I'm on Joe's team. YouTube, where should I put you guys? Tempting to put them right on the pen. Damien got a point there for sure.
Oh,
there's one. Oh, 2-1.
that's within, I think.
That might be in two, yeah.
Oh, he's got another one.
Yeah.
2-2.
Good job, D.
Yeah. Arc him in.
Yeah, he
Back
has
flip.
natural flips to it. Oh, look at him. There's one.
So it's 3-2, so that means I have to go first.
Okay.
Gunning for that pin.
That one was super close,
Yeah, he's got the range now, yeah.
Yes!
Oh.
6.
It's a point.
Oh, you
got one.
Did you get it all around?
They have to touch. Both tips have to touch. Do they both touch? Look at that. And look at that. Boy, you just
Yeah.
stuck in there. Unbelievable.
All right. That was Joe August 10, Damian Adam 2. But who's counting?